And joining us today in our Book Talk segment, great to welcome a woman who's put together a book of very interesting recipes and different types of foods. It's called 1,000 Foods to Eat Before You Die, a food lover's life list. We're joined today by Mimi Sheraton from up in New York. And Mimi, good to talk to you. How are you today?
I'm very good. We have a good, sunny, crisp New York day. How is the weather there?
That's my former hometown, but I'm glad I'm here in Florida. A little chilly, but not like up there.
Yeah.
I think we chatted the last time you had a book out like this, but it's good to have you back again, and you've been doing a lot of traveling, I imagine, putting this together.
Well, the book is a result of travels I made long ago, brought up to date by renewed visits during the 10 years I worked on this book.
Right.
So it's drawn from a life experience, and as I say in the introduction to 1,000 Foods to Eat Before You Die, it's somewhat of an autobiography because that has been the focus of my life for the past 60 years.
Yeah, you've been a journalist, a restaurant critic, done a lot of lecturing, part of the James Beard, you won an award for that, great famous chef. So food has been your life, not just eating it, but writing about it, right?
It's given me a great life. I've made friends all over the world. The markets I've gone to, the most amazing of which are included in the 1,000 Foods to Eat Before You Die, because a whole market experience can be wonderful for a traveler. And the friends I've made, the things I've learned, and it took me to places I probably would not have gone to if I were not in search of some specialty that was only there.
What was your process? I know you've done it over the course of 10 years or more, but did you set out when you went to a specific maybe state or a different country to find their local foods, or how did you go about that?
Well, I've been doing that, as I say, for articles over 60 years, and then there are some cuisines I wanted to include that are newly available in a very major and attractive way in New York, most especially some of the foods of Africa. I was quite amazed at the Senegalese cuisine. We have a couple of restaurants specializing in it here, and I went a few times and became familiar with it. We've had Ethiopian restaurants for a long time, but there are better, more sophisticated ones now. So there was some researching of dishes and ingredients I could do within the United States, but most of it is reporting on past experiences in these places, and my problem was not picking 1,000 foods to eat before you die, but whittling it down from almost 2,000
right.
foods, which you'd have to hurry up if you're going to eat those before you die, depending on your age, I guess.
It became an editing job as opposed to just finding 1,000. You had more than 1,000.
It did, and then, of course, every food is sourced. Every food is in one way or another available, even as a last resort if you have to make it yourself. So there are some recipes, and there are many references to the best recipes I could find for a dish cited in the cookbook or the online source for those recipes, with mail-order sources of ingredients if they're too exotic to be found locally.
Yeah, when you went to these, particularly the exotic-type countries, were they happy to give you these recipes, or was it difficult, or that they're happy to do that?
Yeah, well, private people are always happy, depending on the sophistication. Chefs are very happy to do that, and then there are experts in the food in various countries, food organizations, and native cookbooks, if they've been translated into any European language, which I can read for cookbooks. So getting the recipe was not a problem. It used to be that finding the ingredients was a problem, but that has improved a great deal. There's almost everything available and online.
Yeah, most cities of a certain size have places where you can get it, but like you said, if not in your city, you can order them online now, so that makes it a lot easier. Yeah.
And you'd be surprised at the exotic things you can find online.
What was some of the more unusual dishes, something you never saw before that you were surprised people were actually eating in a restaurant? That you can talk about? Or
I don't know if you want to hear about it, but
sure.
In Hanoi, as part of a pho, I had bull's penis.
Okay.
which was that do it for you?
Okay. I won't ask any more.
But it was just like dried out beef. It was sliced in the soup, and when I asked what it was, that's what I was told.
Now, as a restaurant critic, didn't you have to kind of go undercover and not let them know you were reviewing or writing about them?
If I was reviewing a restaurant, yes. But if I was writing an article about the food of the country that was not a restaurant review, then, of course, I said who I was and what I was doing so they would cooperate and talk to me. But those were not often reviews. That was, let's say, research on a whole cuisine.
And you've had your 1,000 foods. You got to find another 1,000 now, Mimi.
I have 1,000 left over. Maybe I'll do son of 1,000 foods to eat, part 2.
Are you constantly still looking and doing articles on new foods? Are you able to find ones you haven't found before?
I'm obsessed. I can't stop, and I'm a restaurant freak. So I just do it to please myself, and I'm delighted that I can earn a living doing what I like best. That's a very fortunate thing in life. Perhaps you feel that way, too.
No doubt about it. Well, you'll have to come down our area, Tampa, St. Pete, Sarasota, great restaurants down here. Maybe not exotic, but they're very good. So you have to come down and visit us.
You have a great museum I'd like to see, Salvador Dali.
Sure.
Isn't that in St. Petersburg?
St. Petersburg, right. Yeah, great
I'm
place.
a big fan of his work, and I know that's oddly where the museum is. I don't know how that was picked, but
I think he might have wintered down here. If I remember right, he might have visited here in the wintertime over the years. I think that's why they might have put it here. But it's right next to the baseball stadium, so you can't miss it. Well, Mimi, it's been a pleasure to talk to you again. 1,000 foods to eat before you die. And do you have a website, Mimi, you want to give out to the folks?
1000foods.com.
Great, and get the book there. And Mimi, great to talk to you. Hopefully we can do it again. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Doug. My pleasure.
If you'd like to order the book we're talking about, please go to DougMilesMedia.com and enter the author's name in the Amazon search box. Thank you for listening. Please come back soon for more conversations here at DougMilesMedia.com. This has been a presentation of Doug Miles Media, all rights reserved. You can listen to or download previous programs at iTunes, Stitcher.com, or DougMilesMedia.com.